understand what I told you about the torso. Yeah, brother. Yeah, because you definitely have a gifted body. And I wish I had that kind of body that you got,
Ah,
Kala. Because you definitely flexible and all that. I'm not.
mm,
I've never been flexible, so I've always had to work really, really bad on just the flexibility I had that wasn't really there. Much love, Kala, definitely. Um. Okay, Anna. Blessings to you too. Blessings to you too. Um, Anna, come on. Yeah, go with the house dance question. Uh, how was the community? When in the beginning, we're talking about the 80s. This is for the question to call me. Oh, just a lot. The early time before y'all, the popular thing y'all know is hip hop coming to house. Just a lot of love. Ah, okay. Anna's there. Just a lot of love. Not so much what y'all taught is battles and all that. Just a lot of love in the house club. That's the only thing that was memorable as opposed to what is happening now. Just a lot of love. But now we got Anna. Maybe one day I'll get on. We'll do something about house. Maybe one day. But right now, this is about Anna.
all right, all right.
Bow! Yeah, hey, hey, hey,
I
hey,
know it's
hey,
yeah, how excited I am.
Ah, call me, definitely. Call the guy named Call Me, call you. Don't worry, I'll get on here and do a live about house dance. Don't worry about it, y'all, because I know definitely know it's needed. But this is about Anna Sanchez right now. It's about whacking. You guys should still stay, even if you're into house, because why is it connected? Because you have to remember, I researched this dance style called pumpkin pose and whacking from doing street jazz from the house dance culture. Those who don't know street jazz from the house dance is a big name. It's not just the footwork thing y'all see me do. The footwork thing that a lot of people see me do, that's later on in house, somewhere around the late 80s, early 90s. The earlier part is different. There's other different styles in house dance. So we can talk about it a whole nother time. But the street jazz thing, the little arms that everybody does wrong because New York didn't really know what punk and pose and whacking was. We just saw Soul Train and little clips of different things. And what Anna explained so well, it was just freestyle. So freestyle, you can take what you want, which is very true. But when you want to focus on the dance style, it's something different. So those sloppy little arms that we would do, because we were seeing,
I
you
do
guys,
too. I
no,
do too.
it's okay because it also goes the other way. It's almost like when Cali saw breaking, and we were like, that's not good breaking right there on the New York side. So we're only seeing clips, and a lot of y'all don't know that it's not so easy to take a plane back in the 70s and 80s. It wasn't so easy to go to another state. It was not easy. Yeah, so we saw what we saw. A lot of y'all, I used it to bring back the style because I knew it would work, and I was I'm introducing Anna, just because I knew women were looking too masculine in the 90s when we were traveling because they were only
Yes.
learning from male dancers who didn't know how to translate female movement. Because I was taught how to dance from my mom, my mom is my first dance teacher, so I knew how to translate it, and then that is why the reason
I
I
learned
wanted to bring back the dance. Uh-huh.
I
That's the
learned
reason
from
why you learn from all men.
all all of them are men. I learned all my styles from men.
Well, you know what? What's interesting, my first dance teacher is my mom, and then my second is my older brother, rest in peace. And then after that, it was a mix of men, women. It was a mix. So just so you guys know, before we get into questions with Anna, I only did this first for women to dance like their physiology. I did not do this I'm just saying this very openly. It's not nothing against sexuality. I did not do this for a very gay revolution. I didn't do it for that. And one day we can talk about what being gay is because y'all, when I was growing up, gay was about respecting yourself and trying to be similar to straight people and the fact that we can have relationships like them, aka marriages like them, be respectful like them. There are slutty straight people, but that is not what we're supposed to be copying when they say there's gay and bisexual. You're saying you can be a person that holds themselves and has some decorum. It's not about going around and having sexual activities everywhere. That's usually called a slut or a hoe, fag.
Well, and there's different
Yeah, that's
feminine gay, there's masculine gay. I went
yes,
into a gay club in Chicago, and these men were handsome. They were all in suits.
yes,
I didn't know I was in a gay club till they told me, and I saw someone kiss.
yeah.
They're all straight looking to me.
See,
I'm
now,
serious. I did not. My brother's gay, so I know all. You know,
we had this
he loves.
conversation. We had this conversation. I grew up more in the bisexual way, and I never hid that, and nobody needs to know that. You know why? Because nobody's in the bedroom with me but the person that's in the bedroom. So
Yeah.
I grew up in the bear scene. See this beard? I grew up in the bear scene. The bear scene is what Anna is actually talking about. These are masculine looking. You can never tell. A lot of them also were married with children, and you can never
Yeah.
tell. So a lot of this, you guys, a lot of this stuff y'all doing, I didn't see none of that until I joined dance classes because I thought most people who were gay or bisexual were masculine. Just putting that in your ear, that's a whole nother conversation. Anna Sanchez, let's give it up.
Thank you.
You.
It's important.
Where's the clap, Oz? Clap. Clap, damn it.
I'm holding the phone.
Clap, damn it.
I can't with the other. I'm holding the phone with the other hand.
You can do this. You can do this. That's okay. Do this.
Right,
You
right.
better. Okay, so I want to say something I said in email to Anna just recently. And I'm very thankful. Thank you. Thank you, all the unseen higher powers, for putting all three of us together because it was crazy last time.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for that. So,
Thank you.
my first question was, remember what I said in the email as far as when I spoke to Tony Basil and she told me that Penguin told her about the gay clubs of where Tink and Autumn were. Do you know anything about that? Or you know about that?
Yeah, that's where it was more posing first. That's why she
Talk
learned
to us.
posing. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I do remember that. I don't remember what club it was. I don't know if it was Cloud Nine. I mean, there was a lot of clubs. They weren't underground. They were just clubs. So there was Cloud Nine. I can't even think right now. I have a list of them, but I can't think off the top of my head. But Cloud Nine, I remember because of all the stairs you had to walk to get to it. You know, you had to walk all these stairs to get in there, and they had a platform stage that kind of went in a zigzaggy kind of thing, like for show modeling things, and that's where they would dance on.
Did you ever go to
That's what I
Maverick
saw.
Flat?
I went to Maverick Flats and Blueberry Hill.
You better talk about it.
I went there with Dawn and Slim, and I danced with Penguin. And that's where Dawn went down the stairs in a half split, slid down the stairs, hit a knee drop, and came up and said, "I'm ready to dance now."
Wow.
So Maverick Flats, you know the stairs. Video games upstairs, dance floor on the bottom.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. What kind of video games is going on back then? Space Invaders? Okay.
And Slim played the games. Sometimes he'd do it as a robot.
Same here. I always
I think
play
Slim
games.
was a robot, and he played to be human. I don't know. He was so good at it. He was so good at just being it, you know?
So, more questions. Punk. So if you said posing, right? So it started off with people just posing, and then how do we move into punking
Yeah,
whacking?
this I'm going by what Tony told me, and
Mm.
I remember asking Penguin a couple questions. So it was a little bit more the bam, 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 that kind of thing,
Hmm.
where they're whacking with their shoulder and their head, but they're opposing. They
Wow.
don't even know about whacking with your head and shoulders right now. They just whack with their arms. You whack with your feet, your head, your shoulders. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, remember because it came from them. If you look at all street dance, the main core of the person that actually took the chance of creating the dance. If you look at their history and what they're about, that was a time when gays were having a really tough time.
Hmm.
So they didn't dress like women. They weren't transvestites. They were. There's so many different trendy things, They dressed like guys, but they'd have, the tank tops maybe, or
Hmm.
cigarettes rolled up in their sleeve. You wouldn't really know except when they did their little gestures, and that's about it. But those gestures are what whacking is about. It's about them being proud of who they are and using who they are, just like we do when we
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah.
We have to bring ourselves to the dance. So you learn it, but the more you learn, the more you bring yourself real to the dance. That's what I tell
Mm.
people. Don't cut yourself up. You'd be surprised how much more you have to offer with the dance yourself. Every move I teach, you can always create two more. I always tell people that because that's what they told me. So even though, that people are doing this and they're doing these weird hands and stuff, they didn't do that because they wanted to be respected, first of all. So they weren't doing like some people do these hands, and it hurts my hand to even do it. I don't know how they do it. They're going to be sore from doing it. They were more like how they talk, like, "Oh, girl, please leave me alone."
Mm.
"Oh, stop, please." It was like that. Well, those are the movements that came into play with the dance because they created it from who they are.
Mm.
See? And they dance different. Everybody that kind of takes a lead, like Boogaloo Sam or Don Campbell, they're lacking something in one dance thing, so they make up for it by making up stuff of what they like. And all of a sudden, that what they make up becomes popular. And all of a sudden, people are kind of mimicking them. And then you
Mm.
get a book that comes to them and says, "I want to learn what you're doing," which was Camelot Jr. And then the next one, Fluky Luke. You know what I'm saying? Then all of
Yes.
a sudden, out of all that, they created a group. Well, people were saying they were a group. I said, they weren't a group of guys that said, "We're going to go whack tonight." It wasn't like that. They were just friends that happen to have a communication together as
Okay.
friends, and their movement became a communication, you know?
Mm. Mm.
And they're all different personalities. All the groups I know all have their own different personalities,
Yes.
all of them. So if you looked at a picture and you saw all the guys in the photo, you could tell just by the picture of how they're posing who's Bugs Bunny, who's the
Yes.
bad guy, who's Roadrunner, you know what I mean? Who's the
Mm-hmm.
cat? You could
Mm-hmm.
see it. You could see it in their face. You could tell. They flirted, but they all had their own flirtatious way. They didn't
Mm.
mimic each other on the flirt. They flirted how they flirted in real life. So
Mm.
when you're dancing, you have to bring these things to the dance, which is the punking. And the punking is memory. It's like an actor having to remember something to bring them to a scene to move the audience. Before he even cries, the audience is already crying for him if he's good,
Mm.
right? So that's what, as a dancer, we're there to bring the music to life as if
Yes.
they created the song for us, right? And we know everything about it, and we're going to share what we feel in the song. It's not about just hitting beats. That's why they didn't
Mm.
like disco a lot, because they didn't like a lot of repetitious stuff. But there are some songs that you can't listen to before you on it. You know what I mean? Listen
Right.
to it. It's just too much. But in a club, you could dance to it because you want to keep moving and get creative with it, even though they're mimicking the same beats over and over. You're trying to
Well,
change it up.
wow. Y'all hear that? See, I don't want to. Ooh, rest in peace. There's a lot of people rest in peace. So many people come to mind that, and you guys, please pay attention to the person talking for a minute. Because y'all, yeah, I did a big trick to bring this dance back, and I did what most people didn't do. I stepped out because I didn't know, right? When I brought Anna in, I stepped out for 13 years. I could have made all that money that y'all lying about. Just being honest, I could have made all that money. But I stepped out because I love dance. I love dance styles. So in that years, though, I have to admit, Anna, people was teaching some craziness even near your age, if you know what I'm saying. I don't want to put nobody out there because a lot of them are dead now. Just the whole sort of disco and just everything you just said. Because I felt the same thing, even though I wasn't in that time. I'm not from California. But I felt when researching this that this is not only done to disco. I felt that the movement didn't seem that. So my first classes in the resurgence, I wasn't teaching the disco at all. I was teaching the different songs, just whatever felt good.
Yeah,
And
different
so,
sound, different feeling.
yeah, it makes sense because the way the dance looks.
They would dance out Diana Ross and James Brown. I mean, they didn't wait for a disco song. They didn't like the repeating. They wanted the challenge.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that?
And what I find kind of hard to understand, Brian, is my whole thing is the more you learn, the more you become who you are within the dance. And you keep it growing and you keep advancing it. Okay?
Yes.
Freestyle as a street dancer is important. I understand that too. But back in my day, when you learned a style, you knew the styles. When they walked in the door, just by the way they dressed, by the way, all that. If they did a presentation, they made it very important because we wanted to work too. We want to dance. We want to perform. We want to show our stuff, you know?
Yes.
The problem I get is everybody says they want to be different, but they all look the same to me. Because for some reason, I see them off stage, they smile, and the minute they start dancing, I don't see anything there.
Yes.
I don't see the connection of I'm here to show who I am through the song, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a little scary because when they told me, well, how do you walk? What do you mean, how do I walk? Girl, how do you walk? Just walk in the room for me. This is what I do with guys too. Guys have a tough time just walking. They like do this thing because the music's on. They don't really know. Some of them are trying to move a little to the beat. I said, just walk in the room. Don't hear the music yet. Because when you walk in the room, the music should captivate you. It makes the presentation of you coming in dynamic. You don't have to bounce to it, you know? So as a woman, when they started wearing the stilettos, I was going, what are they doing? They can't even walk in them, let alone dance in them. So you've already restricted yourself. Now you can't move. So when I went to Japan, I told them stop wearing the heels. And if you noticed, everybody stopped wearing those big heels. They used to wear the big heels. But you can't elevate. You got to be able to go up on your toes when you're doing the dance a lot. You're up on the ball of your foot. You know what I mean? But if you have stilettos on, you're already on the ball of your foot. You can't do anything.
You can't go for it, yeah.
Stand there and look pretty, you know? So that's just one facet. So when somebody's telling you, hit the beats, well, what beat? There's a lot of beats, and then you have your own beat. So if you have your own beat and you're hitting the beats, it should be different, right?
Yes, of course.
And because they don't know the full dance, they fill it in. That's why I call it freestyle.
Stop right there. We heard the word. Stop right there. Okay. Now, you've heard of this thing called soul dance in Japan, right? What do you
Everybody's trying to own something they can't own. I can't own what I do. If it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. How can I own something that wasn't mine to begin with? All I can say is I'm going to give you everything they gave me back. That's all I can do.
That's like the church say
So,
amen. So, so wait a minute. So,
it's really
then,
important when
wow.
you got to understand when I'm talking and I'm learning from them. They didn't say, okay, Anna, you're going to whack this and whack that. That's not what they did. I had to say to them, what's this move that you're doing here, and kind of gesture what it is. And she would go, oh, I know what you're talking about. And it was the hands, because I didn't do hands like that. I'm a locker now. Remember, I came from locking. So he said, girl, it's like when I'm talking to you. And he went just like this. He went over by the thing and went, now, girl, watch. When I talk, what do I do with my hand? This is part of the dance. This is who I am. You see what I mean? So when he touched himself, he barely touched himself, because they weren't vulgar and they weren't sexual, but yet they were at the clubs just like the straight men wanting to get laid. So there's a flirtatious, there's an alluring, there's a seduction, there's all these things that come into play. Being yourself, they brought that to the dance, just like Don couldn't do the funky chicken, so he started the lock. And he got the attention. He started to point because the lady was laughing when he was dancing. So he pointed at her, and she got excited. Now he realized, I got a reaction. I'm going to use that. So he started the points. There's
Wow.
always
This is not the story. This is not the story we heard. I just want you to know that. So thank you for that.
Oh, God.
Thank you for that. Wait, and before you continue, those who in here, because do not say we're not learning right now. We all learning. And I always repeat this. I paid her for the last interview. I'm paying her for this one. Her Venmo is in the chat right there. Y'all better send some money, because we're actually really learning, y'all. Brian included, Oz included. We're learning here, y'all. This is really scholasticism. Right. Yes, but do really, be honest with you, the way you explain things, like I tell people, Anna is a great, great teacher. There are people out here that, no, forget all that thank you nonsense. You are a great teacher. I know what you mean.
For it, you know?
No, but you,
I really,
there's people that can really dance, y'all. Then there's people that can really teach, and then there's people that can do both. It's rare the people that can do both. Anna is a very great teacher. If y'all listening, I know, and y'all saw what she just did. I learned so much just right there in that little movement you did. So now everybody send money while we're talking, or after it's over to her Venmo, and that's it. Now continue. I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So that's what drove me crazy, because when I finally got them to convince them that I wasn't in it just for the dance and the moves, because they had people come and want to copy them and do things, so they would do things that were hard so they couldn't mimic them so easily, because they were working on something and they knew they had something special. So they had to avoid certain things. So when I came in, they turned their back on me, except for Arthur. Arthur was my in, just like Greg was my in for locking. Arthur said, what is it that you want from them? I said, I want to get to know them. And he looked at me and said, you're the first person that's ever said that. I said, what do you mean? That you wanted to get to know us, not I want to learn that move, I want to see how he does that. You said them. Because when you get to know the personality, it's easier to understand the movement.
For sure.
Believe it or not.
For sure.
So when I got that, I had 4 guys. I had to break it down and concentrate on one at a time for a little bit, and then move to the other one a little bit. Because you start to realize there's way more to this than what meets the eye. And they don't have a lot of time to show it, because they're only showing you in contests. So you didn't really get to see them perform. And then when they performed, they did Tony and they did Diana Ross, but that's a restriction, because it wasn't under their own umbrella, you know. They got to show off for them.
Can you talk about that real quick, the Diana Ross show? Because you told me in person that the music was sped up. So talk about that, please.
Oh, okay. The thing that's interesting is that Michelangelo used to speed the music up. So they were used to that. No surprise. They could dance off real slow music and be sexy, and they can dance off real fast music and still slow it down. Because if you look at Andrew, and he was going real fast. All of a sudden he took his coat down. He was moving around real slow, and then bam, he's back into it again. Because that's what the music was giving him. Then you see Tinker leap in the air like people thought he did ballet. But if you watch his arms, they're very clean. They're very precise of what he's doing with his arms. So everybody says, oh, I looked at the tape. Well, if you did, then why are you doing what you're doing? None of them are doing anything you're doing. And I didn't understand that. So I said, I'm going to start teaching people. I'm going to get them to understand, because it took me a long time, 3 years. The first year, I looked bad. I was going fast. I was sloppy hands. I was going like this and throwing it behind my head. You know, I was just trying to move to see what it was. Then I started understanding the concept of it, and then I started tuning into what I could hear. And once I started doing that, I realized I liked punking more than whacking and posing. See, we all have our favorite. When there's people that like lock tricks, but then there's some people that like locking because they like to leap, you know, or do things. And then there's some that like to really do the points and the funky groove. But you don't know that until you learn the whole thing. You got to learn the whole thing to understand where you stand. Otherwise, you're not going to know what you enjoy the most. You're just doing everything and trying to get by. So to me, in the 80s was very important because all the groups were women singers. Now, to me, it influenced my movement. I'm getting older. I'm becoming more of a woman. And I'm hearing women talk about, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. You know what I mean? All those 80s and emotions and all that. You look at that. I used to go to the clubs early, go in a corner, close my eyes, and just feel it. And just experiment. Then go to the guy's place and say, this is what I did last night. How does it look? And Tinker said, not bad, but you're not moving around, girl. You're in one place. And stop lip singing. If you lip sing one more time.
Oh, say it again.
It's so important not to lip sync. Because the minute you do that, your energy drops. You see, your energy drops and you're lip singing because you're nervous and you want to express something, but you can't, so you lip sing. I know I did it. So there's times where you go, ooh, baby, or whatever for a moment. But when I was going, like I just did now, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it, you know. He's going, what? No, show me that. Show me that you're excited, and show me that you can't hide it. Don't tell me. The song's telling me that. I mean, they got really direct. They got pissed off a couple times at me, you know. I said, look, I don't know. I'm just learning this, and you never taught before, so we gotta work together now, you know. So that's why I asked Andrew that one time. I said it on the other one. I saw him dance one night, really running around, really happy, flirty, and then the next club he went to, the next night, very upset, actually more masculine, more in control. And I had to ask him why, and he had an incident happen. Going to a store, he got jumped on by a straight man. Okay. And he told me, girl, the problem is, he don't even know, but I could have kicked his ass. I'm still a man. And then he said, but if I do that, I'm going to make us look bad. So I took it, and he had a black eye. And that's why I danced pissed, because I had to take it to get respect for us, to not force people into.
That was the thing.
So I said emotionally, it's very important to emotionally try to connect yourself to the music and not just hear beats, but hear what they're saying, hear what they're delivering in it. There's reasons why we listen to certain songs when we're in love. There's reasons why we listen to songs when we broke up with somebody, or somebody passed away and you hear a song that reminds you of them because it moves you. So now you have to take that song and I have to move you with the movement.
Yes.
Interpreting the song to you.
Yes.
That's the best way I could say it. And I'm telling you, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I'm not cutting you. I'm not cutting you off. I'm just trying not to forget my question. But go ahead. Continue.
Oh, okay. It's almost like, I remember Andrew said, you know, we flirt a lot in the clubs because it's all about getting lucky and this and that. And I said, Tinker, can I ask you a question? He goes, what's that? And I said, I was watching you the other night. He goes, okay, girl, what you watching? You know, I said, it looked like you were flirting with two men. Were you flirting with two men? You're good, girl. And I said, he said, how did you know that? And I said, because you were looking on one side and you danced a certain way. But then you came around to the other side and your dance changed a little bit. One was very flirtatious, the eyes, and kind of really like trying to be alluring, but the other one you were a little bit more like, yes, here I am, I'm who you want, I'm the one, you're the one, you know, it was more direct kind of. And he said, and I said, no, I noticed one walked away, but the other one didn't, and got lucky. You know what I mean? So
and this is like the art of punking kind of thing, right? This is like an art of
yeah,
punking.
it's just like locking.
Yes.
Are you kidding
Yes.
me? The lock, when they locked, they could get anybody they wanted. And when the whacking and the punking became popular in the clubs, because the guys knew the women liked it. So
Yes.
everybody, I can name off blockers that all do a hop, a turn, and a whacking move and a pose. Because that's all they needed. 3 or 4 moves, and the woman got their attention.
Now, wait, before we continue, I have to, because I'm being helped right here to do everything. This is Art in Us Dance Studio, y'all, in Chennai, India. I just have to promote it. And Chennai, India, right now, in the rest of India, I'm not traveling, just Chennai. This dance studio owner is named Dezee.
Nice studio, too.
It's a beautiful studio. He is very,
Yes,
very serious about dance. And actually, they falsely promoted that I was teaching whacking. I put your name in a comment, and I said, no, I'm teaching street jazz. And he changed, right away, he changed the bio. And most people don't do that. And that's annoying, y'all, just to add. Can't stand when people tell y'all one thing, and then y'all keep trying to go with this moneymaker and promote another thing. You know? Y'all do that way too much. When somebody that's from the time tells you this is not the name or this is not the way, if you were teaching wrongly, be honest now and go, I found out the wrong information. You won't lose students. You found the wrong information, enjoy the truth. Take that risk.
Yeah,
Take that
it's
risk.
kind of like me in the beginning because they never wrote the name down. They never spelled it out. So I don't know
Talk
about this
about
A, double A, H. I don't know about any of that because they didn't do that. All they did was a description, and I take my formula that I created because I'm from them. I use their description for what I teach. That is punking plus posing equals whacking, and that's the way I do it because punking I favor the most, posing is the easiest one, and whacking's last. Because I learned whacking the most first. Punking came later because it was very difficult to allow yourself to do things that you were told not to do sometimes, you know? Flirt and things like that. Don't do that, girl. Don't, you know, Mama said don't do that.
Right
And you're
back
going,
then,
you know, like, don't get angry, don't get mad now, and you go in the bathroom and you're tearing it apart, and you come back out and you're fine. I want to see what you're doing in the bathroom with the dance. You see what I mean? I got to see that.
Right.
So I tell people, they tell me.
Right.
Serious.
No, because people don't know back.
You see somebody you like. Okay. If you're walking in a club and you see, oh girl, look at him right over there. Don't look. You see him? Is he looking? I mean, there's this whole game, and you haven't even done anything yet. You just saw him when you walked in. Well, I want to see all that in the dance. That's punking. So when you look, and you see somebody, you have to put in your head what it was like to really see somebody, and you go, man, almost where I got so good at one point, I had everybody turn and go, what is she looking at? Nothing. But they felt, there's somebody there, here. So you have to have a picture in your head to make the emotional real. Faking, it's like a bad actor. You know they're faking it, they're not faking. But the ones that pull you in, and you're already there before they're even there, they captivated you, and they're part of the scene. That their personality, who they are, is a part of any part they play. They are involved. You have to be involved. Be involved. And it's like some people, I had one Asian lady say, what if I don't understand the words? I said, then you have to go by the feeling. How does the music feel? Does it feel like he's angry, that he's trying to apologize? Or is he trying to be sexy or happy? You'll feel the rhythm of where the song's going. And you play off of that. Then get the words, because you can get them on YouTube and all that. You can get the words, and you can read it, and you can put it in your language and understand. So you start to practice off of those things. then it comes a little bit more natural, even not knowing exactly what they're saying. You know what the feeling is behind it, you know? And that helps a lot. But for me, the punking, I like to talk a lot, as you can see. And I
No,
use
it's
my hands a lot.
fine. It's fine. It's good.
So I'm Italian. I like using my hands. So punking allowed me to express everything. That's the best way of saying it. If I was upset, I went out, danced, I punked more than the rest. But I always did all three because it's the dance. You can't just punk. You can't just constantly give emotion. You got to give a ride. You got to show them other sides to the music. Otherwise, why have the music? Just have a drummer. I mean, there's reasons for all those sounds. You know, they play off each other, and they all tie into each other. You do, except I shouldn't say that because African dance, those drummers kick ass. You know,
No, but
there's
it's
always
fine.
more than one.
It's a different thing, though.
One,
Right, but it's
and there's
different
always
thing.
more than one.
Of course,
There's
and
always
they
more than
also
one.
sing. They sing also African dance is different. It's a different thing, but I totally get what you mean. Here's my question though. Now, we talked about this earlier since we had to do the interview over. Today, what is missing from the dance style with the people today? If you remember your answer before.
Oh, that's what I was saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of beautiful movements people are doing. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some very interesting things that women have done, and I love that they're being women, you know.
Interesting.
And we have the upper hand because we can be butch too. So we
Yes.
can be very, very direct or very powerful or very, very soft and gentle. And you should use that. And if you're shy, you use the shyness. But every once in a while, show them that you've broken out of that too. You know what I mean? You got to give more than one side. It's almost like hearing a song over and over. After a while, you go, okay, enough already. Even though you love it.
Right.
You can't take it anymore because it's the same shit over and over and over. Well, there's also a song where you dance and you kick butt and you next day you go to play it and you don't feel anything from it. It's because what was your day like? So I always tell it's about action. See, they don't have that anymore. We have the clubs. So when we practice, here come the waitress with drinks in her hands coming right through you. You don't stop. You figure out a way to get around her to keep dancing.
Get around
You just
her.
created a new move for yourself.
Yeah.
You
Get
just
around
created
her.
a new, and how you look at them when they're doing it because you want to keep an eye on them so you don't hit them, you know? All those things are you, and you're dancing. So you're already putting it in there, but you don't realize it. And then when I realized what I was doing, I would use that. I would go to real crowded clubs and get in the middle of it and travel all over the place in between them and everything, trying not to hit anybody, trying to let them see what I'm doing, let them join in with me. They don't really have that.
That's the club, yes.
You know, so I have to admit that's a hard. But you get your friends, and either you go out dancing or you invite them over. Because I did that too. I was in high school when I first started, so I practiced in the hallways, and people would go, "What are you doing?" I'll show you some moves, and I'd show them some moves, which kept me in line of what I was doing. You know, it made me get creative and stuff. So I was teaching props. And I have the scarf, and I do it around my head, and I put it in my mouth, and somebody said, "What made you do that?" Tinker. They go, "Tinker?" I said, "Yeah." He was wearing a suit one night. He took the jacket off. As he was dancing, I didn't even see it happen until it was off in his hand. He took his belt off, had it in his hand, folded it in half, snapped it, right? Went around his head, ran his mouth through it, and as he danced, he put it back on. Now, I got the belt, but I couldn't get it back on. So I said, okay, I can't get the belt back on. How did he do that?
Okay.
Well, he said there's a trick. Don't go for the hole, Anna. You just put that little clip on the side and just get it on there as tight as you can. But I said, can I do it another way? And he goes, yeah. I said, okay, I'm going to figure out another way, and I'm going to show you. That's where the scarf came in. Wow. I took the hanky off my bra. I flicked it, I folded it, I whacked with it, I ran it through my mouth, I took that hanky and I put it right back in my bra and kept going. And he said, there you go. There you go. You just did something that we wouldn't have done, but you did it because of what I did. I love that. because you kept it true. And I said, I'm starting to figure it out. I'm starting to figure it out. You have to be honest with yourself.
You were with them at least 3 times a week for 3 years in the clubs, right?
Yeah, almost every week unless I'm working.
And that's something I want to point out that we said in the last interview that got deleted, that that's 3 years, 3 times a week. And a lot of you are teaching one class a year, and then you have to start teaching. So you look at the integrity here with Anna. And then, like I said, even me, I stopped doing anything for 13 years, and I take privates with Anna when I can. And the same with my student Omar in Texas, who was a great guy. We take private for her. And y'all, I'm a very good dancer, and that's something I know. But I'm taking private, and I'm not teaching as much as everybody else is. And there's something wrong with that. You know, the chain of command that she just showed, being up under them in the club, is the chain of command y'all gonna show. She's not gonna be here forever, neither is mine, neither is ours. If we're gonna pass this legacy forward, we have to learn these dance styles. Learn them. Now,
the more you learn, the more freedom you have with it. They're all restricted right now because after a while, they're going to get bored with what they're doing. And they're not going to notice that there's more. So they'll move on to a different style. What I'm saying, wait a minute, you live and breathe this, you told me. You wake up in the morning whacking. What does that mean? I don't know what that means because to me, I was tenacity, baby. I had to know what they were feeling. I had to wear the clothes they were wearing. I had to be just like the walkers. I had to get in their head and understand the whole feeling of what they were creating as they were advancing it while they were teaching me, because I was helping them to grow at the same time by us doing that. They'd never done that with anybody. So I opened up a window, and even Arthur told me, girl, I'm one of the weakest ones. I said, no, you're not. There's always a link that keeps the chain together. And usually the link is the one that doesn't do as much, but there's other things that they offer that keeps that thing going. It's like if you look at Boogaloo, you got Dane. Dane pops. I mean, robots. He robots. He doesn't really do a lot of popping moves, but yet he's in it. Slim. Robots. He doesn't do a whole lot of locking moves. There's always somebody. And usually that's the one that makes it different or adds that edge, you know? So I told them, if you were in a group, what is your edge? And they didn't really know how to tell me. So I asked Arthur, and Arthur said, I'm the weak link. I said, oh, really? You think you are, huh? I said, okay, let's see. I want to learn you last because I don't see you do a whole lot. He goes, oh, no, I don't want my hair to get messed up. I don't like sweating because my hair is just bam. And that's why? He said, yeah. Oh, girl, I have to look good. You know, that's why he didn't do a whole lot. So you see the old style when he goes down the Soul Train line, he's going like this. And Tinker changed it to this. Okay? And then after Tinker changed this, you know those moves that everybody's doing around their head all fancy? I created those from moves that Tinker did solely. Like he would do a turn and go wham, bam, bam. I said, wait a minute, what's this? I like that. And then I did it with my other arm. I said, that's another move. I said, wait, I can reverse that. And I reversed it. I'm the one that did that. I put that in there. But I went to them and said, what do you think, Tinker? This is what I came out with when I saw you do this move. You turned and you took your hand behind your head and you went like that and you whacked your head down and then you looked up and then you give this little accent. But it was how you did your hand. Tell me if I'm right. And I showed him, he went, who's teaching who? Because he said, even though he wouldn't do it necessarily, he liked it because it was still in line of what he did. It was still flattering. It was like flattering to keep it in line and not just go weird on a move, but keep it in line of what he actually did. Because it was very clean. He's double-jointed shoulders. Now, if you have double-jointed shoulders, you can do a lot more than me because your shoulders are more flexible. He had that, so when I couldn't do certain things, I'd ask him. He goes, as long as you keep it clean and tight, you won't hurt yourself. And you learn to maneuver from one side to another. I said, I have to have balance because I'm a street dancer, and we like balance. So if I hurt myself on one side, it's not going to stop me because I can work everything off the other. So I always try to learn everything on both sides.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
As much
Yeah.
as I can.
Supposed to do
Yeah.
it.
So that, and then it helps you get creative too. Because if you're in a club and somebody bumps you or something, you got to move left. You might stop and just get out of the way because you don't know how to move to the left because you never did. You're a righty, or you don't turn your back because you don't think your backside's sexy, but it is. I mean, these are chances you have to take when you're learning something, and you're actually learning about yourself. Because there are things that you do naturally that you don't know you're doing. It's like a friend. All of us have had a friend where you go, do you see what she's doing? She don't even know she's doing that.
Right.
She's out there. She don't even care about nothing. I'm nervous, and she's just out there. And then she comes back, she goes, what? What's going on? Well, nothing, oblivious to it. But if I ask her to do it in a dance, she's going to do what? I want you to connect.
I know too many people like that, right?
Yeah, I want you to connect to what you're doing. So if you have a prop like I teach coats because coats are one.
Slight pause.
Slight pause.
Internet.
Yeah, internet.
This is good. Good conversation.
It's amazing. Great.
Yeah. Amazing.
So like I said, I don't know when whenever this body gets in the mood, because right now I'm healing right now. Oh, she went off, so she'll join on.
Yeah.
I'll definitely talk about house dance because I know a lot of y'all had questions, but whacking is before house dance, so I prefer to do that first. If y'all have not learned anything from this conversation so far or this interview so far, chain of command. Y'all see everybody in here is not all that young. And so right now, this body is going near 55. And so it's like, and still taking privates? Come on, y'all. Like, a lot of y'all running off to the races teaching we don't know what. This is not laughing at y'all, but this is just saying now y'all hearing it from the mouth of someone that did it. You're hearing it live. Like, let's learn this for real. And come on,
seeing everybody teaching all those arms, like everybody focused on arms, made me not want to teach anymore. I was so sick of just seeing arms and arms and arms and arms and no feeling behind the dance. Dance.
Can you see?
Well,
yeah.
Here she
Oh,
goes.
God, I thought I wasn't going to get you back.
No, you can, as long as I'm live, you can get us back. So wait, I was just telling people, if you're not learning anything from this conversation, is one, chain of command, and two, learn to dance. Like, 'cause again, we're not young. This body now is going on 55 and still taking privates. That if we really love something, you keep learning. Everybody says the word, you can always learn, right? So then we now know 100%. It's easy to see by how. Everybody remembers the first classes in plunking, posing, whacking, whatever the spelling was. It was very ambiguous. That's all. To keep it very nice, it was very ambiguous. People were pushing forth sexual positions and more bedroom ideas than they were actually pushing forth the dance style. We can see Anna loves the dance style and giving us the dance style. Some of these people around Anna's age and even younger, you're in front of kids putting stuff in your mouth and playing like you're, come on, y'all. Y'all know that's not dance. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things.
You don't have to expose that. You can just think it in your head if you want. And it'll make you move a certain way, but you don't have to expose it.
We see a lot of things in the club. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, we don't.
I think people don't even go there. Don't even go.
I don't want to go there.
That's why
but
I
I'm
don't
just saying. I'm saying.
Drink or do any of that. I seen how they changed towards the end of the night,
we
and it
see
was
a lot of
ugly.
you were both.
It kept me from doing any partying or anything
Yes,
because I went, oh no, I saw what you looked like at the beginning, and girl,
right.
you are not here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just that as dancers, we're not supposed to be showing all that other activity. That's for the people who want to go and get somebody and get laid and all that. And the house club, Lord knows, we've seen a lot of crazy stuff. So that's not our job as dancers. That is not our job to show all that. That's the really important part of this conversation because it's really getting annoying, y'all, but really just showing bedroom preferences. And this is not the dance style. It's not.
See, this is the
And
thing,
go
because
ahead.
their style of dance, it was really important to show that they aren't like that. You
Yes.
understand? Because that's not how they were. But the straight people thought, oh, they're vulgar, they're this, they're that, but they're not like that. So
Yes.
they really were showing off the more purity of who they really were as a person. And we
Yes.
just flirt and do the same thing you do when you go to the club.
Yes.
And you might even be worse because you could end up in a car. We're not getting into a car. We're going to end up at their house. You'll end up in
Right.
a car with them. We don't even do that. See what I mean?
Of course.
So they
Of
had to
course.
show the cleanness of it. So that's why they didn't touch themselves and all that. That was all in their head. Or if they wore something underneath, they used to tell me, wear something sexy because I was young. I didn't know what sexy was. I hadn't slept with anybody. I hadn't done anything yet. So I didn't know. They said, wear something that you think is sexy and move in it and see how you move with what you're learning. And then put clothes on over it and see if you can put yourself there because you still have it on. And you don't have to give it up. It's your secret. It's a little secret. See, that's funner to do than expose it.
Yes, my mother always
Funner
said.
to,
My mother used to
no,
say,
you
"Don't
have
show
no
your
idea
jewelry."
what I have underneath here. You have
My-
no idea
Right.
what could happen here.
My mother always used to say, "Don't show your jewelry. Stop showing your jewelry."
Oh, glory.
Because someone could rob your
I mean,
jewelry.
otherwise, why are we wearing such nice clothes, all the makeup and everything, and things that are off the shoulder a little bit maybe, or the skirt's a little short maybe to show your legs. You're not walking in there like a stripper. I mean, because that's not who you are. You want to keep it clean, and in the end, the only one that needs to see that is who you leave with, you know?
Yes. Yes. And Anna is
Really important.
Anna is happily married. Thank you very much.
30
Amen.
years. 30 years.
We are not
Very
going.
lucky. I got
That
him
is
late, 39. I met him
wow.
at 39 years old.
That is a conversation we need to have on another time, maybe in June. But for sure, we need to have a conversation about some of the things people do
Oh,
on
we did for
these
10
dance
years
cams.
before we got married.
You know, but some people need
Yeah,
to realize some of us are in here for dance. We're not in here for anything else. And there's
yeah,
a lot of us
he considered
not.
me an athlete. He
He's a
considered me
what?
an athlete. He's an athlete, so he considered me an athlete.
Yeah, yeah.
He said, boy, you train and you go through all that. I see you dancing all the time, and then you don't even know what you're doing when you solo. And I'm taping for you, and I'm looking in the other room going, that's her. In the other room, I'm watching, I'm going, that's her. Because there's some things I do, and that he goes, wow. So he used to challenge me and play music, rock and roll, whatever, and say, can you dance off this? I'd be in the office playing on the computer. I said, let me hear it for a minute. Okay, I got it. And I would do a move, and he goes, go back in the office. Go away. Because he said I nailed it every time. He never picked a song I couldn't take the challenge on. As long as I can understand it, can't be
he loves watching you dance, I'm sure. He loves it.
Yeah.
Sure. And that's a beautiful relationship. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it was really nice.
No, that's gorgeous.
And that's locking and popping.
Y'all will be married until death. No, because you're very connected. You guys, if you haven't met her and her husband, they're very connected. They're very connected.
Yeah,
Very.
we're weird.
No, you're not. No, you're not weird. No.
In a good way. In a good way.
In a good way. You guys are very connected.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful because
Yeah.
in a time where people just fly by night be doing things, it's beautiful to meet people that
Yeah.
connected. My grandparents
Yeah.
were like that, and my mother and father were like that.
Yeah. My mom and dad too. They were together forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
Did you
awesome.
ever take acting
Like I
classes?
said, 39. 39.
39 years.
Don't give up
Yes.
hope. Don't give up hope because it's the best thing. I'm so glad I waited. I'm so glad. I'm ready to give up. All of a sudden, he knocks on my door to work on my house and gave that smile and said hello. I said, I can't believe this. I had to call my friend up. She goes, what's going on? I said, I can't believe this. She goes, what are you talking about? I said, I've heard of love at first sight, but come on. Come on. I
Yeah.
can't believe this. I fell in love with him as soon as I saw him. And I didn't know what to do. He's working on my house. What do I do? Oh, my God. You know,
You
you
let
can take
you
a
let
little
him work
action
on
and work
you
with
let him
this
work on
man.
another house.
He fixed my dad's house
Keeping
up
it,
nicely.
yes, keeping it clean here.
Yeah,
You let
it
him
was
fix
good. It
your
was good.
plumbing.
I mean,
Wow.
we were best friends before we even dated. But I was in love with him right away. And
Of
I thought,
course.
you know what? Just to have a man friend that I can trust and talk with and laugh, and he's working and he's hearing me and he's communicating. He had so many pearls. I don't even know how to start describing them. That by the time we did date, I almost felt like we were dating the whole time, anyways. It was really beautiful to have that friendship first. You know? Yeah.
No, I
So that
love.
helps. So when you find stuff, it's like a friend. You got to leave for a little bit. Give me a couple hours. I'm going to rip your head off. You know,
Y'all know how to give each other
I
space.
walk out of the house. I walk out of the house and go, that just makes me love him more. Now I got to go back in there.
Yes, yes, but this is relationship.
Serious.
Relationship. Okay, wait.
And
Let's
those
not.
are, when I fell in love, oh my God, the dancing changed too.
About to say that.
Whatever
Yes.
emotion I was into, oh my God, it changes extremely. Like, that's why I can flirt more and give looks, and because I'm being real honest, because I really have felt that now. I never felt love before. So to play off
Mm.
love and lyrics, it was more of a challenge because I had never fallen in love. But after falling in love, it became even more deep, where I had to share that. And I know how to teach it. I can teach that if you want it. I always go for the personality. If I have a private, I'm going to work with you. I'm not going to just give you moves. I want to
Mm-hmm.
see how you move, how you act, how you handle yourself, how you work your clothes, how you enter a room. I need to know about you, so when I'm doing it, I'm directing it closer to your personality so you can get there faster. Because I had to deal with four guys. It was very difficult to find. Oh, by the way, back to Arthur. He
Okay.
was the last one I said I want to learn from. He was the most difficult one to learn from.
Mm.
And he didn't do half of what those guys did. You know
Yeah, and
why?
Arthur seemed very ambiguous. Yeah, he was very.
Very subtle, and he
Yeah.
liked to do mime almost. But
Ah, come on. Wi-Fi issue.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
The punking part, the punking, the way that she does it is very,
It's
very,
amazing.
very Stanislavski method acting, like to the core. Just how she described,
I got what you're saying. I get what you're
yeah,
saying. And
studying
more.
them,
And
studying
more
them,
than
putting on
that.
the clothes, going through the emotions, the
Yeah, yeah.
actions, and everything like
Method
that.
acting. Yeah. And a little more. It's method acting, but with dancing. Which is why I can't just say method acting. If you get what I'm saying. But wow. Okay, so I was about to say you about to fall off too on the Wi-Fi. Yeah, method acting, but the fact that she dances with it makes it so
Right.
a little, makes it much more than that. Um,
Yes.
and I'm just gonna say to y'all again,
It's
having
very,
taken private from
very hard.
it's yeah, very hard, and having taken private with her quite a bit now. Um, yeah, it's just something that's really worth it. A lot of y'all that don't. There we go.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Hold
when
on.
she comes, will be taking a few when she comes to the event, because I feel now, as far as like that part, like now when I dance, there are
Come
certain
through,
songs that I
Anna.
hear. She coming, she coming, she
Come,
coming.
Are you there?
There we go.
come
Yes.
through. Come through. We just give it. Hello. Wi-Fi.
Going back again.
You're circling now.
We can hear you. Y'all, I'm in India, and I had to do this in the dance studio because the hotel
There
I
you
was
go.
in,
Okay.
the hotel was
Mhm.
in, the Wi-Fi was bad like that. So
There we go.
So I lost
yeah,
you
we were
for
just
a minute.
giving, yeah, we were just giving you praise on the. I was telling people about the privates I took from you, and of course we'll continue to take. There we go, the Wi-Fi again.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, okay. We, yeah. So I was going in and out.
shoot. Go for it. I'm losing you again.
Yeah.
No, don't go. I feel like I'm in the Wizard of Oz. Are you there?
We can hear you. It's still
We can hear
buffering.
you. It's still buffering. We can hear you.
You
But
guys sound
honestly,
scrambled.
oh yeah, because you're buffering. But it's so to me, it's been a great. The interview is great already. It can end there, but if we can get more. Yeah, a lot of y'all that have the questions about house dance. Again, I'll probably come on. I don't know. Probably I like to do it like this. It's funny. I said to Oz, I'm just gonna surprise people. I'm not gonna tell you I was coming. And so look, the first live we had what, 15 people. Now we got 24, right? It's sometimes better just to surprise people, you know. So whenever I do a one about house dance, I won't tell y'all. Just we'll just come on and do it. There's a lot to say about house dance. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't know what happened.
We can hear you, but it was buffering.
Did you change where you were sitting?
No, it looks like it's the same. If you see in the
Yeah.
background, it looks the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
I see the mirror. It might be just wherever she is, the Wi-Fi is not. So we'll wait. Oh, so like I was saying, y'all, yes, privates with Anna is wow. That's what I gotta say. It's almost how she talks. It's how the private is. You really, it's clear information.
Yeah.
Um, it definitely changes whatever you were doing. And this is why I decided to stay with teaching street jazz, and that comes from that. Again, street jazz, not the choreography classes that y'all know. Choreography classes come from street jazz, which is in the house scene. So we'll talk about that when I do a house dance thing. But I stay with that because it leaves the open door for Anna. So in the street jazz classes, you'll see the style that I use that brought back the arms and all the stuff that y'all do wrong. It's not wrong for street jazz, because like Anna said, it's a freestyle thing. But it's wrong for the dance style called punky, post, and wax. 500% wrong. But when we did it in the clubs with a house, it wasn't as repetitious as y'all do it thinking it's whacking today. It was just something to throw over the beat with the house dance footwork. And since y'all, a lot of y'all can't even do the house dance footwork, y'all can't imagine arms on top of that. Because house dance footwork looks crazy right now. It looks like, I'll be honest, house dance footwork looks like a lot of scrambled eggs. You know how you scrambled eggs and they
Hmm.
pop? It looks like that, or throwing silverware in the air and just watching it drop. Because it's not fitting the music, it's not saying anything. It's just, you got the beat. A lot of y'all are actually off beat, and it's very interesting to be off beat to house music when it's just a eighth note constantly playing. How do you, it's not John Coltrane. I just want to know. I don't know. How do you go off beat on a metronome? Even if you don't hear the, because a lot of y'all don't hear that in house. Y'all hear the boom, boom, boom. So how are you offbeat on this? How? How can you be offbeat on the metronome? That's just crazy to me. Come on, Anna. She's following.